Subscribe to IndieVolt.com to recharge your fandom and to get an education. Be sure to check out all of the IndieVolt programming on the Nines with hosts like Randy Zimmerman, The Kid, Varian Grant, The Indie Princess, with more hosts and shows to come. The opinions expressed in the following broadcast are not necessarily those of IndieVolt Media LLC, its staff, contributors, or sponsors. Viewer discretion is advised. From the COMiX newsroom, it's time to get you wired in and get your daily dose of the COMiX news, hosted by Mr. Anderson, who is the unboxable, uncanny, advocating creator who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish monsters and more. Join him and his co-hosts as they give you the news coming off the COMiX News Wire. Brought to you in association with
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
Good morning, good morning, morning. Sorry about that weird intro, the stalling. For some reason, the videos weren't playing when I clicked them, so that we got a little bit of a weird start. Great weekend. FANDOM just passed. We're going to be talking about advocating for yourself. We're going to be talking about some indie projects. We'll even check out a Kickstarter of the day, which we're going to pick while I'm live on the air, because that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to see what comes up to me, and we're going to check out all the things that we missed over the weekend. Thank you for tuning back in with us. Monday, our second official week of doing the news at 11. You guys are more than welcome to come in, pop in, talk about what you're creating. But for now, we're going to get into it and talk about the news coming out of our site. So for a lot of you, you might have noticed that our site's been a little quieter than normal. And that's been a lot to do with the fact that I've been redoing things. And we're going to go ahead and call this up to the full screen. So we've been redoing the background using these color things. They call it the block theme. So we've been doing that to increase the ability for you guys to have a user-friendly platform. One of those things that we've been able to do is this cool email thing. This email thing can allow you to give us a tip directly to the newsroom, and now you can get it to us. And if we see it, we're going to cover it as long as it fits within the process of what we do. Now, and a lot of people have asked us, what is the standard for being covered? Well, you have to be a pair. Be a pair. Be professional. Be ethical. Be authentic, be respectful. Remember, in this industry for comics, be a pair. Art provided by Chris Mad. Look up Chris Mad Art on Facebook today. It's not a hard standard to live by, right? Everyone can be a pair. But you have to do more than be a pair. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to go out of your way and make sure that, good morning, Glenn B. Fleming. You have to go out and you have to advocate for yourself. You have to give us this stuff. Look, I am now to use a wrestling term, a booking agent for IndieVolt. So I'm going to be getting guests on IndieVolt as well on these shows. So you guys got to make some noise, make sure I see you, and make sure that we have you on these programs. You can be on the news, the Devil's Advocate. We have Geek Insider shows that we can get you possibly on. And IndieVolt has a slew of shows. We're going to try to find the right fit for you and get you on air to talk about the things that you are creating. And, of course, I am the advocating. I'm the advocate during the day, but I am the devil by night. So make sure that you subscribe, check out everything that we're doing, and more importantly, share. Share things that aren't just for you, but share things that others that are doing. Be cool, be awesome, and be a person who shares other people's work as well. And that's all we can do, man. We can just help each other rise up. In the indie news today, we didn't have a lot over the weekend to talk about. We'll check out our group right now. As you guys are noticing, the newsroom looks completely different. We're going to have new terms. And, of course, Indie News is brought to you by comicbookadvocates.com and the Comic Book Advocates Network here on Facebook. Let's see what we got. Kyron Sylvia, who will be featured on our show, just gave us the okay. Says the Kickstarter for issue 1 through 3 is live now. This is 12 hours ago. So this will be the Kickstarter of the day because he officially gave it to us. So that's it. Today's Kickstarter of the day is Saw the Lightning Wielder. Let's see. Fingers crossed. I haven't watched
Previously on Saw the Lightning Wielder.
Thanks for checking out the Kickstarter for Saw the Lightning Wielder Issue 3. Now, this is the conclusion to the first arc of the Saw storyline. Now, if you haven't had a chance to read the Saw tale before, this is a great starting point because you can get issues 1, 2, and 3 as part of the rewards below. Along with the book, you can get custom pop of Saw, you can get a t-shirt, print, and more. And if you are a retailer, you can get a bundle pack of Saw issues to sell in your store. So check out all the rewards below. I thank you for watching the video and hope for your support.
Sorry about the coughing during that. I'm assuming I got the allergies, as this is that time of year for the great allergies of the end of the summer, which we're going to talk about the indie event, which has a lot to do with the end of the summer. Let's give you a quick peek. So we basically have it filled up at this point for the Saturday, but here's the Sunday deal. So on Sunday, you're going to be able to come in. We're going to have a bunch of creators, but we're going to have them in blocks. So as we do these different blocks, we're going to have the ability to give everyone certain time. The idea is to talk to them about their creation, let them have about a half an hour, and it's not going to be a full half an hour, so we're going to move them into a private room. Where the fans, it's not so private, we will monitor it, but it's going to be a room where they'll be able to talk to the fans directly inside of the room. We thought that'd be an exciting element. So it's pitch and sell. You're going to come in, and it's building the reputation of what you guys have going on. It's about building the brand. It's about letting people know what you're up to. And you can hear Jax in the background. There's a kid who knows to advocate for what he likes. Do you know how to advocate for what you like? This is what we're trying to do. And let's take a look at the indie event trailer.
Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Loughran and I'm the project coordinator for Indie Vent. This is under the Comic Book Advocates Network, which is the comic book arm of Geek Insider. And we've got a special end of summer bash scheduled for August 29th through 30th, 2020. We're doing things a little bit differently this time. We've got a true selling component. And it's actually really easy. So I'm going to explain that in this video. So on Sunday, August 30th, it's going to be dedicated to blocks of time where our comic book creator friends can submit their promo video. This video can be repurposed from your Indiegogo or your Kickstarter. And if you don't have promo video, you can actually take your phone or a video camera and create one. All you have to do is basically pick up your books, talk about them, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and have some fun with the video. Then you can submit that to me. Other requirements. is to send me a QR code. Now, if you visit indievent.com, you're going to see all of the links and the suggested places where you can get your QR code. It'll also have a list of these requirements, because if you don't send it to me, I don't have time to chase you down. I'm sorry, I simply don't. So make sure that you hit all of those bullet points of the things that we need to make this a successful event, and try and get as much selling as possible. This is the selling component. Do your part to make some sales. We're going to use our network to help promote it. So that being said, you should also send me your logo or avatar, something, a profile picture even, so that people can place you with the product. We're going to do that as well. Now, for easy reference, these videos are going to be on a playlist that's centralized on the Geek Insider YouTube channel. We're going to be sharing that, as well as promoting this across multiple platforms. So it's really going to have the potential of reaching a huge audience. And that's what makes this exciting, because by sending us the QR code, that QR code is the direct link to your seller's page. If you don't have a seller's page and you're doing Indiegogo on demand, you can use that link too, but I need that sent to me. The other thing is, on the website, you are going to have your name timestamped on the website, as well as in the description on YouTube, so people know exactly where to find you. These are going to be permanent links. They're not going away. So you can always use them as a reference. You can use that QR code. You can redirect people to that page, whatever it is that you want to do to help promote yourself. IndieVent would not be made possible without our network of creators, friends, and sponsors. There is sponsorship opportunities here, and for that, you can contact advertising@geekinsider.com. This is the list of things that must be sent in to participate in the end of summer bash back to school book sale. We need your video, which is not more than 4 minutes, a logo, avatar, or profile picture, your QR code that is directed to your online store, Indiegogo, or Kickstarter. Send that to Meredith@geekinsider.com, and I will send a confirmation that I received all of your information. After that, just follow Facebook and bookmark indievent.com for updates. If you have any questions, you can email me directly at meredith@geekinsider.com.
All right. Thank you, Meredith, for putting that together, letting us see that. So it's going to be an exciting event this weekend. So get to it. Look, I'm going to say this, and I'll bring myself on the camera to do this. Look, you all have the opportunity to promote yourself. Right now, there's a literal link in the chat room. You going to make what, Meredith? What am I making? You going to make it? Oh, the coughing. Yeah, I'll be fine. Just allergies. Let's see. We got something from Glenn. Glenn said, I just published Comics Unlimited, a 100-page magazine about comics. It's on Amazon. Would love to be on your show sometime, anytime, man. There's a link literally here today. There's one big problem, Glenn. You don't have a link in here. How do we show a link? Get a link in here, Glenn. Drop that link. Let people know. That's what this news program is. It's for you guys to promote yourselves. Stop being lazy. Stop making excuses. Get on this show. Get us materials to get on this show. If you're like, well, I'm shy. You're not shy in an email. Start typing some words. Give us some art. Let's show the world what you're creating. This is about you. I'm taking my time to promote you. Occasionally, I'm going to have some stuff to promote myself because, I'm a creator too. We're going to be talking about Cat Dad and Supermom. We're going to be talking about free hugs and spanks. It's just how it goes, guys. But more importantly, we're going to be talking about your stuff if you guys actually wake up and get me some stuff. That's what you need to do. You need to get me some information, get me what's going on with you guys Let me know what's going on with you. Stop waiting for someone to come pick you out as the diamond in the rough, and start making people notice you by getting on shows like this. Again, I am now a booker for Indie Volt. I book this show. We have the Devil's Advocate on Saturday. You should be coming on these shows and having things going on. Meredith, if you want to pop in, talk more about the indie event in case I didn't catch anything, you're free to do so. Everyone's free to do so. I don't want to hear I can't be on a show. I don't want to hear no one wants to be. I want to be on their show, because there's a literal open door for this show. And that's all because of Indie Volt and what Indie Volt does. By kicking the doors open, it's an inspiration by our good friend, Varian Grant. Most days we will have a link, especially on Mondays. Mondays are going to be an open door. Wednesdays are going to be a little harder just because we're going to have the backer pause on Wednesday. So that's a show that takes a lot of time. And, a lot of credit to Indie Volt and all they do. They're kicking open the gates, letting everyone in. Make sure to download the Roku channel that they have. And the Indie Volt Radio is on Google Play, or you can get it on your internet browsers today. So we have another comment. Let's get to it. Jeremy, I'm looking for an artist. Jeremy, can you help us out? What kind of artist are you looking for? If you tell us what kind of artist you're looking for, maybe we can get some stuff out there. What are you doing? Let's see. We got Meredith, who's in the back room. I'll bring Meredith in just 1 second. But here's the point. If you don't promote yourself, we keep giving opportunities, and we've had Pops on the show to talk about CronCon coming up in 2 weekends, not this weekend, but the following weekend. And if you're not going Indie Volt, and if you're sitting around complaining about no one wants to cover me, then you're your problem. I can be on a show anytime I want during the week. I have open invites all across the place because I go to shows and I perform my duties. What are my duties as a guest? Bring information, be polite, don't step on toes, and give honest feedback and be energetic. Don't show up to a show and go, "Hey guys, I got a comic. Don't you want to buy my comic? I got the best comic ever. Your eyes will fall out of your head. It's so good. Come on and then buy my comic." Don't be that person. Act like you give a shit. Because you're whether you like it or not, you're your own team. You're your own PR person. You're your own spokesman. You're everything. And if you're not willing to be everything, then you got to find someone who can help you. Honestly, team up with someone who can be that person and be out there. And we're already being joined by two people who want to talk about the products they got coming out. So we'll go around the room first. Meredith, what brings you into the show today?
Hey, Indie Event. Indie Event brings me to the show because I am mystified why people aren't jumping on this opportunity, especially on Sunday when that's all we want to do is sell books. But I'm not chasing people down to sell your books. You have to want this.
Look, if no one shows up, we'll just sell Terraform books. That's
what I'm saying. I mean, seriously, it's not that hard. If you have an Indiegogo or you have a Kickstarter or you have any kind of promo video, all you have to do is send me your video. You've already made it. And then all you need is a QR code that goes directly to your Kickstarter, your Indiegogo, or your website, or wherever it is that you're selling your comic books. It's direct selling. I don't want to sell your books. You sell your books. I'm giving you a platform to sell those books. And then when you're on the show on Sunday, while we have you in these blocks, guess what? You have one-on-one interaction with these people. And if the conversation goes a little longer, we're going to put you in another room so that you can share your DMs. If you have books on hand, hey, send me your PayPal. I'll send you the books. It's that easy.
All right,
no,
Meredith.
I'm not getting any information. Hi, John.
Hi, Meredith. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Speaking of Patreon, not Patreon, sorry, Indiegogos and crowdfunding. Someone asked, do we promote Patreon? Of course we promote Patreon. But here's the thing, guys, we need information. So either you got to show up or you got to send us a press release. Don't just send us, hey, look, I launched a Patreon, or look, I launched a crowdfunding. We want we always say it on the show, especially with the back report, we want to see the steak. We just don't want to hear the sizzle. The sizzle's not good enough. The sizzle isn't what you need on shows like this. And John's been around the industry of comics and creating and entertainment. I think you've been in a lot of the facets, more than most. And you know what I'm talking about. The people who give too much sizzle wind up sizzling out, right?
Oh, yeah. If it's only sizzle, it burns out real fast because as soon as they show up, you might have another sizzle somewhere else, but if you don't have the steak, if you disappoint people, then suddenly you're gone. No one's going to come back for you. So the thing about it is that if you're, you may have a portfolio, but you worked really hard on it, and you show up for a job, and you say, well, this is what I did. Well, I want to know how long did it take you to, can you deliver? Can you deliver on time? And here we are talking about things like crowdfunding. Well, there you go. The sizzle is what you put up on your promotion. On you're promising something. Now, if you haven't done something before, well, then okay, people are going to take a flyer on you, and they have to be able to say, well, I hope that he or she can deliver. If you don't, forget about it. But if you do, then you got a better chance for people coming back for more of what you have to offer, and that's the way it is. And here's the thing: a lot of people have a vision, but if you're selling something and if you're presenting something like a comic book or film, have a tough skin. Be ready for people to say, "I paid money and I didn't like it." Well, okay, there you go. And ask, why didn't you like it? Be ready for that. Ask. But this is the reason that if you show your material before you present, you put it out for sale or what have you to the public. If you show it to friends, well, they're going to be, they're going to try and support you as much as possible. But in many ways, it's like selling insurance policies to your family. Yeah, they're going to do that. But at a certain point, can you go out and sell insurance policies to strangers? What are you giving them? What are they giving? And especially now where each dollar is important for people, especially during this financial crisis. Give them something that they will say, I don't feel gypped. That's a big thing. So,
speaking of exciting projects, we have John, the animator COMiX.
Right. That's this is this is my pre-launch page, and I launch for a live a week tomorrow, September 1st. It'll be a 30-day and a 30-day campaign, and I've got I'm aiming at a underrepresented and serviced readership, which is those readers, young readers under the age of 13, from like 4 to 12. And in today's comic book world, there's not a lot of original material for that age group, which is crazy because that's who starts getting into get the habit of reading comics, and then then they wanted more sophisticated stuff. But right now, from the entry point for most comic book series is about 13. Am I correct? For what
people even say higher now, the way that they're treating comics nowadays, I even put it like 15 and up, because they're going for the PG-13 crowd definitely, but they're trying to push on, and it's and they dropped the ball. I completely agree with you. That's why I have Cat Dad and Supermom, because I believe completely in what you're saying. There needs to be an avenue for children. So bravo on being one of those avenues.
Yes. Well, that's it. I mean, this is what I know. I've done this for 45 years with all the various shows that I've worked on, whether it be from Raggedy Ann and Andy to Rock and Rule to Strawberry Shortcake, He-Man and She-Ra, Boba Fett and the Star Wars Holiday Special, doing Batman commercials, doing all sorts of material. It's all a family-friendly material, basically, and I know what the story is like. I know how to create a story for kids under of a certain age, and you can't really talk to them. You can't talk down to them. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that I see with even the material that is presented, because there a lot of the stuff say, well, this is for young kids. Well, what is it that they're giving? Well, they're giving us stuff of, superheroes in miniature form. They're still adults. They're still teenagers. And just say, well, they look cute. Okay. Yeah, but that's still, you're still aiming at a certain age group, and then of like, say, 15-year-olds or maybe 14-year-olds, but you're not hitting the 4 to 7 and then 8 to 12-year-olds. They have very different likes and very different expectations. They're at different formation, in formative years of their lives. So therefore, the biggest problem, I think, with material today is that the creators forget what it was like being that age.
No,
I love that. I love that you said that, John, because there's so many people that age group is really, you're right. It's very much underserved. And Rob has even said it, and I've interviewed quite a few people who have said that comic books was their gateway into reading.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I love that you say that we cannot talk down to children. I mean, they're smarter than a lot of people give them credit for. I have 3 boys, and they're grown men now. I never did the baby talk. I used proper English. I used words that they could understand, and if they didn't, we looked it up. And I didn't want them to feel like I didn't want to dumb them down from the beginning. So it's really important to have smart comics out there and smart entertainment. And I really appreciate you for doing this.
No, thank you. I just feel that this is a thing. As I said, it's underserved, and things like what I do is very, very different from what is the norm. I mean, I don't do edgy stuff as a natural. I can do edgy. I'm a professional. I would, but there's a certain edginess that is not attractive. There's appeal. Drawings have to have appeal. Characters have to have appeal, because with kids today, or with anything basics, people will come to will follow your characters, but if you want them to come back, give them someone that they can care about, and so but that's my way of working at it, and that's a traditional way of doing it. I'm not aiming at a Tumblr crowd. I'm not looking at teenagers. Everybody has forgotten that the market used to be general. Used to write for a general market. Same way with TV, and what's on Netflix, what's on all the newer material is aimed even at the 8 o'clock hour. It is aimed at a much more sophisticated group than a general or a family view. 8 to 9 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock used to be, that's the family hour. That's where anybody could sit down. And how many times do you have to, you see something that says, well, this is for kids, only because it looks like it. And then suddenly you go, wait a minute, on page whatever, I can't show it. Or you don't know that that's the case. You don't know that you shouldn't be showing this to an age group. So, but that's me. That's the way I feel it. And maybe I hope that there is that people will respond to it.
Well, I definitely hope that one day, John, you can join us when we talk about one of the things I want to do with Devil's Advocate. The show I have is talking about how we could actually rate comics, not doing a comics code, but how could we get to a place, like you're saying, where a family can feel comfortable, and who would be in charge of those ratings, so we could have clear ratings that everyone understands, because there definitely needs to be that. where someone can go into a comic book store and see in a corner, oh wait, this is fine for my kid. I can let them read this.
Right. Well, I mean, yes, and but the thing about it is that when it becomes a rating thing, it becomes a gatekeeper. In many ways, let me just say that anytime you can be part of an association, okay, that association then has to have the trust of the marketplace, you know. Let's say in the Christian media, okay, back in the 90s, if you had the focus on the family imprimatur, you were good to go, you know, for a family according to them, okay. But I think indies, you have to know who the artist is, and I think I don't know how you can do that other than by knowing seeing that their work in their past. You have to look and see what have they done in the past, and can you trust them? I don't know. I really don't know about ratings, because then you have to say you have to get a bunch of cats to sit in the room and decide, and to agree on something.
And that'll be the topic that we'll have very to talk. That's what I was going to say. This is something so packed that it deserves an entire hour. Just the topic itself, if not 2 hours on Devil's Advocate. Because there's no way we're going to answer it now, because the news is exactly this. It's a shorter little. That's all I was going to say to you. That these ideas can't be explored on a short.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm Italian. I'm going to be talking. So there you go.
I'm a man. I talk about everything but my feelings. We're gonna do some. Comments real quick, and then I have to get back to the news. So I'm gonna let you guys go. But before you go, let's make sure there's no comments for either one of you while we're here, because I don't like having anyone not here to answer anything. Okay. Russell Explode says bringing Extonate Titans this fall. Check it out. It's in all of its glory. That's cool, Russell. I'm looking forward to that. Morning. We need to schedule off 9 to 5 due to the show, but in the meantime, our comics can be purchased at Exigency Studios. I'm ramping up for a new Kickstarter campaign for Amazonia #1 10th anniversary edition. Congratulations on being around 10 years. Yes, Patreon. We promote Patreon as much as we can, as anything else. I think I said it before. Just make sure you give us either come on live or just give us a press release. Press release should cover the where, the how, the why, and the what's going on. So make sure you're covering all that, and your press release will be fine. We do take viewer questions. That's what we're doing right now. We're looking to make sure. Morning, all Pixel. What's going on? And Jesse said, how do we contact you if you want to be on the show or promote? That's really easy. I have an email just for such an occasion. And where is that? So I don't want to go all the way up. I have it. I have a slide. I swear I do. We have too many things. Here it is. The Comics Newswire. Let me take down your thing. So for those wondering while you're watching, especially if you're watching on your phone, when you see something like this, you want to remember, screenshot it. And then later on, just look at it. It's comicsnewswire@yahoo.com. For those on the radio who can't see it, we're spelling comics COMIX instead of the classic COMICS. I almost spelled comics wrong live on TV. And we appreciate everyone's comments. As Randy says, your setbacks only make us better. Because we'll explore them, we'll talk to everyone about them, and we'll help everyone learn from each other's experience. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to rise each other up and help each other to the next level. And it's not about keeping anyone. Gatekeeping is not welcome. Absolutely. I'm with John. I don't like gatekeeping. It's a very slippery slope, because you have one person who means well, and then suddenly they're doing something they never intended to do because a group came in and convinced them, or even worse, converted them into thinking one way is the right way. Russell says, hi, Meredith. Rob, hey, what's going on? I'm kind of disappointed with most cartoons have turned out. This one's for you, I'm pretty sure. I'm kind of disappointed with how most cartoons have turned out. They are far too silly and immature and don't teach kids anything. Have you seen anything similar with comic books aimed at children? John, I'll let you take this one.
Well, I mean, when you say silly, it really is the mind of however you perceive that to be. But nonsensical stuff. I mean, kids say will gravitate to material and say, okay, this is fun, and then it's silly, and then it's stupid. I mean, it has to make a certain amount of sense, to them. There's whimsy, and then there's innocence, and there's don't be, when you say silly and immature as in how? Young children, by definition, are immature because they haven't gone through a process. Now, there is something, if you mean by talking down to children, then I agree. Then that's what I mean. If there's just a lot of baby talk and there is just kind of silliness that doesn't make any sense, then I agree. Silliness that is a flip on something where you suddenly go, oh, that's silly, but I understand it. I got something out of it. That's talent. You have to understand writing, and what we're talking about here is people who create comics have to understand how to write a complete story from beginning, middle, and end with a point. And that's where, I see this young children, getting material and say, well, we'll just do a lot of silly stuff, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's another show.
That's well said, and that's a Sunday show on the Sunday Funnies. You were just on that with Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic show. You guys talked about the concepts that we're talking about now. It's going to be one of my favorite new shows. I'll be honest, I might not be up every Sunday morning at 9 to watch the beginning. You'll see me come in at like 9:30. Hi guys, how's everyone doing? But it was a great show. You should check.
I actually tuned in for that, and I never wake up at 9.
9 a.m. on Sundays. You can find that at the Indie Volt YouTube station, and make sure that we're channel. And when you do that, subscribe. We're going to go around the room real quick, so I got some other news to take care of. But before we go, Russell Allen wanted to make sure you knew. I'm glad to see someone doing sensible comics for the younger generation. Kudos to you, John. And John, we're going to let you say goodbye.
Yes.
First. When is it kicking off, and where can they get it?
It's kicking off a week tomorrow, September 1st. I'm on Indiegogo, and it's John the Animator Comics. Just type that in, and you'll get it there. And right now I have a preview, a pre-launch page. So just type in John the Animator and comics, and you should be able to get to it.
And this is the preview page now. I just put it in the links. There's no excuses, guys. Sign up for the email. This is something that you're going to want to be part of, because trust me, Indie Volt, Geek Insider, and Comic Book Advocates is going to be talking about this a lot starting next week. So pre-sign up. Be one of the first people who can say, well, I was one of the first 100 who backed this.
Okay.
We're going to get it. Go ahead, John.
Well, the one question, remember, the top tier includes an original Boba Fett animation pencil sketch that I'm going to do for 100. That's it. Then that's the only. I'm going to do 100 for that tier, and it's a full size 8.5 by 11 pencil sketch, full figure with Boba Fett and his tuning fork rifle from the holiday special that I drew. So that's a thing. So
that's an awesome thing. Make sure that you subscribe now to be part of that. That's going to be an instant collector's item. If you're a collector, that's where you want to be right now. And John, real quick before you go, we want to have you part of our part of our Backer Pause program and Geek Insider. So we're going to be reaching out to you to make sure that you're on all of our programs and all the things. And at one point, I'd like you to even come on and be a judge and tell us when you watch a video, when you feel like you've lost your interest in it. And then tell us quickly why, because I mean, you're just a wealth of knowledge. I'll just sit in the back and be quiet. You're one of those people I want on shows, and unfortunately, we're a 1 hour show, so I do have to get back to it. But I thank you for your time. I know
Thank you.
it's so valuable, and I appreciate you spending the time. We'll even give you the rest of Meredith's time to say goodbye. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Thank you very much. I have to keep on going because I'm trying to get my email list up and sending out notifications. So I thank you very much, Rob, for giving me this opportunity. And hi, Meredith, again. We'll have coffee somewhere. Okay. Take care now. I'm going.
Anytime you want on, just message me, and you gotta welcome in on this program.
Thank you.
All
okay.
Right.
Bye-bye.
John. All right, Meredith, you can't live up to what John just did, but we're gonna let you try. Go ahead, Meredith. Tell us about the Indian.
Well, that was, first of all, John Celestri is longevity in comics. So, I mean, obviously follow him. That would be ridiculous not to. I mean, I grew up with his comics, So, Indevent, INDEEVENT.com. There are details on how to get involved. There is a deadline to get your stuff sent to me. That's tomorrow, guys. Again, if you have an existing campaign, you already have a video, send that to me. Send me a QR code. It takes less than a minute to create a QR code, and then send me your logo. Not that hard. So I'm going to send it back to Rob because I know he's only got like 15 minutes left. Thanks,
Yeah,
Rob.
I got a lot of wrapping up to do, but I'm happy to run through that stuff. It was awesome to have John and you on the show. That's what I love about this new format. And Meredith, I will talk to you later today. I'm sure we already have a meeting later today, so it's going to be a busy day. So I will talk to you soon, and I'm sure we'll talk more about Indie Event in just a little bit. So exciting times. Thank you, Meredith, for jumping on in. Wow, what a day. And that's what I love about this program. This program's got such great potential and energy that we have all these great creators coming in. And back to the news. I'm so excited. John stopped by, gave us some great stuff. I can't wait to see his program. I mean, his Indiegogo go live and to help support it. All right, so mainstream news has been remarked now that we have a new look and where this is all part of it. And as a matter of fact, let me share this with you. If you have not bookmarked this, every week this stays the same. So make sure you're bookmarking. Like I said, we've been spending a lot of time behind the scenes changing our codes around and making new stuff so we could have the launch in September. We decided to go to this new code thing as we combine forces with Indie Volt and now Geek Insider. We wanted to bring you new exciting things. So one of the things that we're bringing you right now is the mainstream market. So this is mainstream market news. So this has to do with everything from the big two to entertainment news to even gamer news at times, because we're going to have some gamer news in here because it's comics related. So let's get to it. You don't need to see me on the screen. Let's go to the big screen here, and we'll up the way it looks. You guys get a bigger view. This is brought to us, mainstream news is brought to us by Indie Volt. Let's always support Indie Volt by subscribing to their YouTube channel. Become part of the growing energy of comics. Subscribe to Indie Volt today. It's not bad. It's a good pitch off the top of my head. All right, so here's what's going on. This is Monday's Mainstream Market Watch catch-up. So this is everything that happened on the weekend when we were out doing things and didn't have a show, because we're only Monday through Friday at 11. So here goes. Batman is back, and he does not sparkle. Okay. Like, DC Fandom, thumbs up. DC Fandom nailed it. Great, by the way. DC Fandom is just reset the bar. They showed everyone else what they were doing wrong. Comic cons that are going virtual now have to live up to the DC Fandom and make it better. Because here's the thing, DC Fandom was never about being a Comic Con. It was always meant to be an infomercial. But the things they do were groundbreaking. If you didn't watch it, I suggest going back. There's some stuff on YouTube. They had scroll bars. They had the way that they put it together. And granted, lower budgeted shows such as these will not be able to pull off 90% of what they did just in the tech they were using, the technology and the money. But the bigger shows, we are going to have an expectation now. But the exciting thing about DC Fandom, besides how they ran it, was what they gave us, how they gave it to us. Like there was just excitement the entire week. A leaked Snyder cut of the trailer, and because the Snyder cut's coming out, their trailer dropped. Oh my goodness! And then we heard we were going to get the first look at the Batman. Oh my goodness! Like, he does not sparkle. This man is going to be an interesting Batman. My only one thing that bothered me is the Batman is not big. He muscularly does not look big. But Christian Bale didn't have the biggest Batman either, nor did Michael Keaton. Come to think of it, all the live action actors have never been physically too big outside of Ben Affleck. Hats off to you, Ben. You looked massive in that role. Kudos, my friend. DC fandom, watch the Batman Justice League Snyder Cut reveals and more. So in here, in this link that we're giving you, now all these things have links. If they're just a trailer. We didn't give you a link because duh, it's a link. It's its own thing right there. You know it's on YouTube. So there we go. But for the Snyder Cut here, the great coverage by CNET, who gave us a bunch of trailers. So if you're looking for trailers, it's in there. We didn't have time to put all the trailers out, so we just put the one, my favorite. I'll be honest. I'll own it. My favorite. So it's Gotham Knights world premiere was my favorite. And it was hard to pick my favorite in next. They had Suicide Squad and all that, but that was my favorite in the list. You have to watch this. This is going to make me go out and buy PlayStation 4. I wasn't sure, or PlayStation 5. I forget which one we're at. I'm pretty sure it's PlayStation 5 coming out. Either way, the newest PlayStation I'm going to wind up getting because of this game. This game looks awesome. And this is brought to us again by CNET. And the legendary black superhero universe has been dormant for 2 decades. Now it's finally returning. If you guys haven't heard, Milestone returns. This is some of the most exciting news. Static Shock, some of the most groundbreaking storytelling. Here's how it's going to work for the next couple months, starting in September. We're going to be able to see digital aspects of not digital aspects, but digital releases, of the actual comic books that we knew back in the day. So they're going to be re-released as digital for you guys to consume and catch up. Some of you don't even know what Milestone is. You don't understand it. You haven't been around it. So now this is your way to catch up and become educated, as Randy would say. And this is brought to us by the Washington Post. How exciting is that? Comic books in a positive way being covered by the mainstream, as it were, and pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about the fact that we're getting the coverage we deserve here. So this is, of course, the market watch for the mainstream. And oh man, I can't wait for Milestone to come back. And you know, when you're a fan, you can't just pick one trailer. I tried. I definitely tried to just do one trailer, but the Suicide Squad trailer deserved to be on here. And then, of course, the Batman trailer. But this one's in 4K. Okay, yes, I'm a Batman fan. That's why there are 2 trailers. But this one does have a better quality to it. And it's Batman, and I'm excited about it. So Mastrero. You know, I've never heard anyone say that out loud. And when you're a comic book fan, you don't always know how someone's supposed to sound. So we have Mastrero, the evil future Hulk's archenemy is revealed. And I don't know what to take of this, guys. It is Hercules. Hercules has never been that big a deal in Marvel. So this is, I mean, I expected Wolverine. Kind of let down, but this was brought to us by the comicbookresources.com, CBR. And you can read it yourself. I'll be honest, little let down by it being Hercules. Nothing against them, but we were all waiting for Wolverine, weren't we? Comic book preview. Teen Titans Annual number 2. Robin No More. Oh my, there's a great preview here. Go to flickeringthemyth.com, new site. They actually show you a couple pages from the actual comic book. Pretty exciting stuff. And I definitely suggest that you guys go out and check it out. I'm not going to give any spoilers. Choose if you want to. It was really worth the time, though. Speaking of other things that's worth the time, Static Shock, one of my favorite cartoons. And, of course, I liked him in the original run because I actually got to read the original run because I'm just that old of Milestone Comics. And this is pretty exciting. Static Shock is returning to DC Comics in 2021. And pretty excited. Similar, I don't think they updated the look too much from what we last saw him as. I believe the Static Shock S is the biggest thing, and his platform that he's riding around on is a little different now than it was. Either way, this looks awesome. Very excited about it. And if you guys are a Suicide Squad fan, all 17 characters, there's a lot of star power in this. John Cena, Peter Capaldi, we have Nathan Fillion is in this. Not to mention the regular stars of the Suicide Squad. The Shark King is going to be part of this. This is definitely some mainstream market watch stuff. So I actually got through that pretty easily. A lot of stuff. We have 10 minutes left to go. What we're going to take is a quick break to identify a need, and that need is it's helping us stay on air, basically. And here, I'll let me tell you why it's important. Well, not necessarily important, but what we're looking for. How's that sound? Help us continue to advocate. While we advocate for thousands of creators and hundreds of projects a year at no charge, the tools we use, such as web hosting, URLs, and computers, have an annual cost. Help comic book advocates stay on air. Please consider donating anything you can to help us to continue to advocate and put on advocating program for everyone to enjoy. Become an advocate for us and a sponsor for advocating. Who knows? If we make enough, maybe we can hire a full-time editor. All right, guys. So a few other things that I wanted to talk about, and then we're going to do comments on our way out. So backer pause is going to be Wednesdays. Of course, today's Kickstarter to watch is Saw issues 1 through 3. That's now on Kickstarter. We're going to drop that link in right now for you guys. This is today's project to watch. Ooh, I might actually write that down. It's project to watch, because they're all projects on there. And we're going to do that exclusively on this show. So during the course of the show, we'll just drop a link in here. It won't be something we release on there. It's going to be just for in here for you guys watching live. For those watching the video, you'll have that. And let's see, just making sure it went through on all the sites. Now you can back it. Definitely going to be a good book. We'll take a quick look at some of the art. Ooh, things are heating up, looking tense. This shit, look at the colors. Great colors on this book. Looks like a great, things look like they've turned bad for our character Saw. She's been captured. Oh, but she breaks free. I don't know. This is definitely something interesting. I'm all in. All right. So we want to make sure that we get that. Ooh. And, anything else in our, let's take a real quick look here. Anything else in our group? We are currently asking permission to cover certain Kickstarters. We'll get back to you as we get that permission. But congratulations to Jeff Ryder, who has successfully funded on Kickstarter. And remember, tomorrow's Tuesday, which means that we focus in on our indie news a little bit more. We'll also have co-host. Actually, tomorrow's Tuesday. I believe we do entertainment tomorrow. I got to look at how we structure. Each day will have its own theme. We might switch Tuesday and Thursday, but either way, we're going to be talking about comics. Even though days will have themes, like today's catch-up day, Tuesday or Thursday will either be indie or entertainment. I think we might move indie to Thursday, like we had it at one point, just because the indie side of comics also could lead us into like where people are going on the weekend. Tuesdays we'll do more of the market watch aspect, but either way, we're going to cover what we cover during the day. Like any other news program, we might have a theme for a day, but we're going to cover all the news of the day. So make sure that you're sending us the news so we can cover it for you. And, of course, join comicbookadvocates.com. Check out all the great art that we have in there. Check out the things that are coming up, and we'll be talking about, like, here we go. Jason Everett's got the Super Earth Comics group. And let's see. I know that some of you are getting impatient. That's Jax. I know some of you are getting impatient for the Kid Chaos book. When is it coming out? You said it would be out by now. I hear you, and over again. Hard to believe I originally wanted to release it in 2019. Regardless, it is still very close to being finished. I have one page of coloring and one then lettering. Prison Dallas still has a few pages of additional short stories to do, and then I letter the book. The book is around 48 pages and less than $10, so you really will get your money's worth. Just hang in there. I promise it'll be worth it. Jason Everett, we're going to be checking in on you and seeing what's going on. So we have Randy Zimmerman popping up. You want me to come in, Randy, or need a minute?
I was just adding something. But you can leave me on for a second. It doesn't matter. Hang on just a second here. Let me shut this off. When you mention, every time you mention Kickstarter, are you mentioning Kickstarter or as a group, or do you really mean to say crowdfunding?
No, I meant Kickstarter. Like the things that are Kickstarter. That's why we're being a project we watch, not a Kickstarter we watch. I'm being very careful to invite. So we're going to pick a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo every day to feature. And if I didn't say Indiegogo, that's my bad. I have gotten lazy with Kickstarter being, as Randy said, a generic term. It's like a Xerox to me. I mean copy, but I call it a Xerox. So.
Yeah, there would probably, Kickstarter as a company would probably appreciate using the term crowdfunding.
Yeah,
a little more often.
Yeah, and I will be definitely trying to do that.
And
but
it'll help the fans as well when you go to show the campaigns to point out where it's at, which crowdfunding platform it's at. And there are more, there are rumors of more crowdfunding platforms starting all the time. So.
Yep, and from Facebook to Amazon to even independent ones, the future of crowdfunding is going to be a lot more crowded. It sounds like. So yes. We're excited because anyone who can build a better product is something that we want to support.
Absolutely.
That simple.
That's really why I came on.
Oh, okay. well, I mean, it's an important distinction to make. And like I said, I had gotten lazy. That's even why we renamed Backer Pause to Backer, because we used to have a thing called Backer Report. And now my mind's stuck on the old term, but I'll get there. Backer Pause.
Backer Report sounds good too.
Well, it's what I refer to as all the things that we actually have, but people got confused with it too. Like, sometimes you pick a name, but you don't own it. The fans own it, and they get confused by it, so you have to change your name and your branding. But that's why we don't want to say Kickstarter. We want to say crowdfunding.
It's time to stay up with the times.
Yeah. Randy, what's up? Marvy wants to know.
Marvy, having a good time. Marvy, I'm working on logos and a little commercial work and drawing some monkeys. So it's all good.
Well, Randy, we're about to be out of here anyway. Why don't you tell them who you are so they know how to follow you, especially to our radio audience. Randy's doing this.
Well, hey, everybody, I'm Randy Zimmerman. I've been working in alternative and independent comics for many decades. Here, I don't even have my curtain up so you can see I'm casting from my dingy basement workstation. So there is that. But I've been doing a lot of work in the independent and alternative comics. Done just about everything in this business. I retailed for like a decade or so, and now I'm an award-winning commercial and graphic artist who's specializes really in sequential art for advertising and education. And I'm working on my own crowdfunding campaign. So a book, hopefully, that I will have out. I'm not going to do the campaign until the book is done, so I don't have to worry about having to work on the book, fulfill promises, and do the campaign at the same time. I want it all done so I can focus on pushing the product, but it'll be fun.
That's a very smart plan, actually.
We can make updates in our comic in the group.
Oh, yes. In our group, they want to know if they can make updates. Absolutely, by all means, update as much as you want.
We're here for news, all sorts of comic news.
Yeah, so anything you got, we're happy to cover.
Absolutely.
So that's about it. One last thing on our way out, just to give you a heads up, one of the things we've also added, and we'll be talking about a timetable in the near future and all the other stuff, but for today's reveal, weekly, we'll have a Geek Insider headline show where we talk about the biggest headlines of the week. Today's going to be a hard one with Milestone Comics coming back. Of course, we had the Batman trailer come out, so that's been making big news. It'll be hard to pick today's big news, but maybe tomorrow's headlines will be yours. And we'll have different headlines for every day of the week, so the weekend news won't affect Monday's headline. So any news you drop today, creators, could be the top of it. We're out of here, guys. That's it. 1 hour is up. We burnt through it very quickly. Very happy to be part of it. Randy, thanks for jumping in. You missed John. John was on.
I saw you had John on. Absolutely. And I'm sorry I popped in right at the last minute. I did not honestly mean to do that.
Oh no, you're fine. Randy, for those who don't know, is very involved with Indie Vault. He helps with the programming. He's got his own great program, his own show, the Sunday Funnies on this network. So make sure you subscribe to the Indie Vault YouTube channel so you know it, especially on the radio, guys. You have to see the art. You're missing out if you're not seeing the art. So please do that. Marvy says, thank you. See you soon, Marvy. Thank you always for tuning in. And that's it. We're out of here. We're going to hit our 1 hour mark. Thank you all for being part of this. Make sure you subscribe to Indie Vault YouTube and Indie Vault actual Facebook group, and subscribe to comicbookadvocates.com. Anything quick to subscribe to? Your YouTube channel, Randy?
I have a Zim Geek channel, ZIMMGEEK, also here on YouTube. Please subscribe to that. And also, I'm sure Rob's already said it, but please subscribe to Indie Vault. if at all possible. Ring that bell for notifications too. So
All right, guys. That's it.
we have programming that, you know, we can come on and off the air unpredictably. So stay tuned.
We're out. We'll see you
Take care.
tomorrow at the news at 11.